All right, this is our long division recording. For the long division, by the end of this lesson, you will be able to divide polynomials using long division. Of course, our success criteria serves as a series of steps. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so first step is to rewrite the expression. Rewrite the expression using placeholders if needed. You can divide the first term of the dividend by the first term in the divisor. You can multiply the result by the divisor, and you can subtract the expressions, aka change signs. Then last step, you'll bring down the next term and repeat until all terms in the dividend are used. All right, so here's our quick little warm-up. I will give y'all a minute to complete that, so go ahead and try it. All right, I know it hasn't been a minute, but I'm going to give you 20 more seconds. All right, there's my alarm going off. Okay, so when we use long division to divide normal numbers, 592 divided by 46, we want to see how many times 46, the divisor, goes into the dividend. So 46 can go into 59 one time. So we bring down the 46 and we subtract. 59 minus 46 is 13. Bring down the next number. Now, how many times does 46 go into 132? Off the top of my head, I don't know. So if we said 46 times 2, 6 and 2 is 12, 4 and 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Okay, it definitely goes in 2 times. Could it go in 3 times? 12. No. 3 times would be 138. We need it to be 132. So it can definitely go in 2 times at 92. Subtract again. 13 minus 9, 40. All right, so 46 goes into 592 12 times, and our remainder is 40. So we can write this as a fraction and say that 46 goes into 592 12 and 40 over 46 times. So 40 over 46 is going to be our remainder if we write it as a fraction. We can simplify that. 40 over 46, both numbers are divisible by 2. Simplify that fraction to be 20 over 23. So our final answer here is 12 and 20 over 23. All right, question 1, first example. Again, here's our steps directly from the success criteria steps. So let's go ahead and set this up. We're saying this divided by this. So this is our dividend, and this is our divisor. So let's go ahead and set up this problem. Dividend is x cubed minus 7x squared plus 14, and we are dividing x minus 5. All right. It says rewrite the expression using placeholders if needed. Oh, I forgot a placeholder. The way we determine if we need a placeholder, we look at the exponents. Is this polynomial in standard form, and what exponent is missing? Here we have x cubed, x squared, and then we go right down to a constant. So in between x squared and the constant, we are missing an x. Now, we don't want to change the value of this expression or this polynomial, so we're going to use 0x. This is solely a placeholder. It's not going to change the value of our equation, of our of all of this. All right. Our next step here, we did this one. Our next step here is to divide the first term of the dividend. The dividend is on the left, right here. Just kidding. It's on the inside, and our divisor is here. So the first term of the dividend, this is the inside, by the first term in the divisor, which is the outside. So we're going to take the first term of the dividend and divide it by the first term in the divisor. So what is x cubed divided by x? Well, when we multiply, we multiply the exponents and we add, sorry, I'm saying that wrong. We multiply the coefficients and we add the exponents. When we divide, we're going to do the exact opposite. We'll divide the coefficients and subtract the exponents. So here we have 3 minus 1, which is going to leave us with x squared. And that x squared, I'm going to erase this here. That x squared can go right above the other x squared in the dividend. All right, now we're going to multiply the result, the x squared that we just got, by the divisor, which again is the outside. So x squared times x minus 5. We're saying this times this. So x squared times x is going to give us x cubed, and x squared times negative 5 is going to give us negative 5x squared. Now we will subtract, and it says subtract the expressions, aka change signs. So really what we're thinking here is subtracting, like when we subtract polynomials, we distribute that minus sign, which means we need to change the sign. So this was a positive x, now it's negative, and this was a negative 5x squared, now it's positive. Now we subtract. X cubed minus x cubed, those cancel out. These cancel out. Negative 7 plus 5, that's going to give us a negative 2x squared. All right, now we're going to go ahead and bring down, we did this one, bring down the next term. So this term, 0x squared, is going to come down. 0x, oh no square, sorry, just 0x. All right, then we'll go back to the first step, this one. Divide the first term, the negative 2x squared, by the first term in the dividend again. So negative 2x squared divided by x, all we're doing is taking away an x. So now we have negative 2x. And then we're going to take that again and multiply it by x minus 5. So negative 2x times x should get us back to negative 2x squared. And negative 2x times negative 5, negative 2 and negative 5 is positive 10 and x. Now we need to subtract. We need to change the sign. The 2x is now positive and the 10x is now negative. Subtract it out. These two cancel. 0 minus 10 is negative 10x. Next, we'll bring down the next term, plus 14. All right, once we bring down the next term, we are going to go back to step 2. Divide the first term, 10x, divided by x, the first term in the dividend. Sorry, the divisor. So negative 10x divided by x, we're just taking away that x. So all we're left with is negative 10. And then we go back to multiply again. Negative 10 times x is going to bring us back to negative 10x. sorry, trying to my colors. Negative 10x. And negative 10 times negative 5 is going to give us positive 50. Yeah, positive 50. All right, our next step is to subtract, aka change signs. So because we're subtracting, this 10 is now positive, and this 50 is now negative. And I'm going to go back to erasing this. All right, combine. Negative 10 and positive 10 cancel out. And positive 14 minus 50 is going to leave us with negative 36. Now, this is our remainder. We've ran out of terms in the dividend to divide. So this is our remainder. And we can write our final answer as this stuff at the top with our dividend divided by this. So I'll show you how to do that. So we're going to say our answer is x squared minus 2x minus 10. And then this is a negative 36. So we'll say minus 36 over what you divided by, x minus 5. Kind of funny, huh? All right, let's try the second example. And then we have one more example. Okay, so here is our dividend. And here is our divisor. So we're going to take this first polynomial and put it inside. And we do see it if we need a placeholder. Here we have 3, 2, 1, 0. So we don't need a placeholder here. And on the outside, we put our divisor, x minus 2. And now we're going to divide. Divide the first term divided by the first term. So 2x cubed divided by x leaves us with 2x squared. 2x squared. And then we go into multiplying. 2x squared times x is going to bring us right back to 2x cubed. Then we multiply it by the negative 2, which is going to give us negative 4x squared. And we go right into subtracting. Now remember, when we subtract, we need to change the sign. So this 2 is now negative, and the 4 is now positive. Now we subtract. 2x cubed minus 2x cubed is 0, and negative 3x squared plus 4 is just 1x squared. What color am I using? Use purple. All right, so we have x squared. Now, we're going to bring down the next term, 4x, and then we go right into dividing again. Divide the first term divided by x. So x squared divided by x leaves us with 1x. And then we go back into multiplying. X times x is x squared. And x times negative 2 is negative 2x. Then we change signs and subtract. X squared minus x squared is 0, and 4x plus 2x is 6x. Bring down the next term and do it again. All right, 6x divided by x leaves us with 6. Put it at the top. And then we go back into multiplying. 6 times x is 6x, and 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. We change the signs and subtract. 6x minus 6x is 0, and negative 7 plus 12 is 5. Here's our remainder. And we write that as a fraction being divided by what we were dividing by in the beginning. Let's go ahead and set up our answer. 2x squared plus x plus 6 plus 5 divided by x minus 2. All right, last example here. All right, so we're going to take the dividend and set it up. But first we need to see if we need a placeholder. Here we have 4, and then it jumps to 2. So we need a placeholder for the x cubed right in here. And then it goes down to 1 and 0. All right, so let's go ahead and set that up. We're going to say 9x to the 4 plus 0x cubed minus x squared plus 4x plus 5. And this is all going to be divided by our divisor, 3x plus 2. Now, our first step is to divide the first term of the dividend by the first term in the divisor. So here we have 9 divided by 3, which is 3, and x to the 4 divided by 1x, which is going to leave us with x cubed. Erase this so we have more space. All right, now we're going to go back into multiplying. 3x cubed times 3x. 3 times 3 is 9. X cubed and x is x to the 4. And then 3x times 2 is 6. And x cubed stays. Now we subtract, aka change signs. So the 9 is now negative, and the 6 is now negative as well. 9x to the 4 minus 9x to the 4 is 0. And then we have 0x cubed minus 6x cubed. That's going to leave us with negative 6x cubed. Now it's time to bring down the next term. Let me change this color really quick. Negative 6x cubed. Bringing down that next term, we have x squared, and it's minus. All right, now again, we're going to take our first term and divide it by the first term. Negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. X cubed, take away an x, we're left with x squared. Then we go back into multiplying. Negative 2x squared times 3x. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. X squared and x is x cubed. Then we have negative 2 times 2, which is, let me make more space here because I'm kind of scooting it over. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, x squared. And then we change signs so we can subtract. 6x cubed and negative 6x cubed cancel out. Negative x squared plus 4x. We're left with 3x cubed. Next is to bring down the next term. Positive 4x. And we go back into dividing. 3x squared divided by 3x. 3 divided by 3 is 1. X squared, take away an x, we're left with x. All right, now we go back into multiplying. X times 3x is 3x squared, and x times 2 is 2x. Change the sign so we can subtract. These cancel out. 4 minus 2 is 2. Bring down the next term. So now we have 2x plus 5. 2x divided by 3. Well, 2 cannot be divided by 3 without making a fraction. So that stops us right here. This is our remainder. And it's going to be divided by the divisor. Let's go ahead and set up our answer. We have 3x cubed minus 2x squared plus x plus 2x plus 5. That's our divisor, or sorry, our remainder, divided by the divisor, x plus 2. Whew, there we go. All right, once you're done with this video, go ahead and get started with your worksheet that you should have picked up from the front. And I'll be walking around to help you guys.